Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and Juma Mubarak. I pray as you receive this message as you're in the best of spirits and the highest of Iman. My name is Preacher Moss, and this is your Friday reminder. This is a story of my friend Hodge. My friend Hodge and I have been go back for many years, but we become estranged because Hodge had developed a pretty bad drug habit, and me being the Muslim I was, I couldn't be bothered with it. I wanted to stay away from those people. So I was in town one day. My friend Hodge called on a Friday. He said, "Listen, I know you're getting ready to go to Juma prayers. Can I go with you?" And I immediately was going to say no because I thought he was on the drugs. He said, "No, no, no." He said, "I'm clean. I've been clean for about 9 months. Can I go?" And I'm like, "Well, alhamdulillah, brother. Yes, come on. You can go to the mosque with me." And Hodge picked me up. And Hodge was, I realized on drugs, Hodge was a pretty good driver. Off drug, he was a speeder. And we were speeding, and I kept telling Hodge to slow down. Ironically, we got pulled over by the police. And the police, being the police, they were like, "Please step out of the car. Do you have any weapons? Do you mind if we look for drugs?" And I'm like, "What is all this about?" And the officer looked at Hodge and said, "Do you mind if we look for drugs?" And Hodge looked at me and said, "Do you mind?" I'm like, "It's your car, Hodge." And we're sitting there on the corner with the police officer going through the car. And I didn't want to do it. I said, "Hodge, I should ask you. I should trust you." I said, "But are there drugs in the car?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Hodge, I thought you told me you stopped doing drugs." He said, "I did." He said, "But I didn't tell you I stopped dealing drugs." I was like, "Oh my God." So here I am thinking about how I'm going to look in the orange jumpsuit. And then it hit me for a minute. What he said was actually kind of funny, even though we were looking at 7 to 10. I'm sitting here like, this all started with the fact that you wanted to come to Juma. You cleaned yourself up. And I'm like, whatever it is, it is. But you know what? There's a saying that my friend Imam Zayd Shaka says about Islam. He says, "Come to Islam as you are," which is really like come to Allah as you are. And as fate would have it, a miracle happens. A call comes across the police radio that there's a bank robbery or something shooting. The cop goes, "Listen, I'm going to cut you guys loose. I got to get out of here." And there we are, right into the mosque. And we pulled up, and Hodge didn't pull into the parking lot. He just sat there like he was going to drop me off. And I knew he was disappointed. I said, "Hodge, listen, come on into the mosque." I said, "Take the drugs and put them outside, but come on into the mosque." Some years later, Hodge turned into Hamza. And he called me a couple of years later and he goes, "Preacher, I heard you're in town. Do you want to ride to the masjid? It's Friday." And I looked at him and I said, and no. But my point was, Hodge's actions, brothers and sisters, reminded me of grace. And sometimes we have to understand that the grace that people show us is to remind us sometimes that we don't have any or we don't have enough. The mercy of this brother being a Muslim for so many years just reminds us sometimes I'm not understanding or clear about everything he had to go through to get to that point. Thus, we have to show people grace because we don't understand what their struggles are. We may want to or think we can or predict, but we just don't know. So I pray on this Friday, may all of us have an understanding that grace is not something that belongs to us. It is loaned, is bequeathed, but it has to be paid back. And sometimes grace is really, a pathway to mercy. Allah's mercy, God's mercy. And we can see the human in us all around us. That my friend Hodge went through his stages, and now we're the best of friends, and Hodge is now Hamza. It tells us, brothers and sisters, that we all have a journey that we have to undertake in the aspect of trying to be the best that we can be, going from day to day. Better to good, good to great. That's your Friday reminder. My name is Preacher Moss. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Remember, Allah is God. Keep it simple.